This week on Arizona Illustrated, a special presentation of Arizona Public Media's 2017 Emmy nominees and winners. Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. On Saturday, October 14th, the winners were announced at the 2017 Rocky Mountain Emmy Awards. Now, each year, regional chapters of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences recognize and reward excellence with the Emmy Awards. This year, Arizona Public Media received 27 individual nominations for 13 productions in 10 categories. And once again, AZPM was nominated for the prestigious Overall Excellence Award. So let's get started now. First up, from the Arts and Entertainment category, Emmy winner Andrew Brown brings us the story of a mysterious mural painted by a famous Tucson artist in Restoring DeGrazia. This is an excerpt.
He had a real vision of himself from an early age.
The physical manifestation of that vision can be seen and experienced at DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun. This National Historic District in the Catalina foothills is as close to a complete artist statement as you will find anywhere. It looks as though it were dreamed into existence and is unmistakably DeGrazia. The gallery, like any building, needs maintenance, and so do the 15,000 or so original pieces of artwork inside it.
I've been working with the DeGrazia Foundation since 2005.
Charlie has been working to clean and restore all of our collection for a long time.
So I'm eventually going through the whole collection, which I said is like a lifetime of work.
Even the most beautiful and the most famous artworks need conservation from time to time.
Charlie Burton is a fine art conservator, an often overlooked and critically important job. Like DeGrazia, she gravitated towards art at a young age.
And I moved to England to go to art school, then eventually started working for some Dutch galleries in London. And some people said, "Did you ever think about being a conservator?" And I said, "What is a conservator?" I fell in love with it. I specialized in 16th and 17th century Dutch paintings. I never thought I'd be back in America living. I thought I'd just stay in England.
Life brought Burton to Tucson. She started working on more contemporary artists like DeGrazia. That brings her to this backyard in Midtown Tucson to see a mysterious mural.
I actually never knew it existed until the family itself called me up last February and said that they had a DeGrazia mural.
I was 6, so my comprehension of what that actually meant was very low. It's like, ooh, pretty picture. Here, let me go play in the backyard now.
The mural was indeed a DeGrazia. It was there when John McNeese's parents bought this house in 1974. Slowly, over time, it started to succumb to the elements.
My father passed away a few months ago, and we're very fortunate in having enough resources to restore it, and we kind of felt it was a moral obligation for us to do so.
So they called Burton, and she began the daunting restoration process. The first step was to find out as much as possible about the mural's origin.
I came back and talked with our director here about it, and they said, yes, we've looked at it 7 or 8 years ago, and we have records about that mural, but we don't know the story behind it.
He did not sign it when he originally painted it. The owners at that time asked him to come back. Supposedly, he was quite drunk, misspelled the word original. We're lucky enough that he had some photographers shooting him painting it, at least certain aspects of it, and it made it into an article from Arizona Highways 1949 talking about him. We have original color photographs of him, which Charlie is using to match the colors up more exactly.
The mural appears to have been painted in 1948 or 49. Robert and Mildred Fish owned the home at that time.
The family that owned that house were benefactors of the artists of the day.
DeGrazia had been looking for a place to do a large mural.
And the family said, use these walls, so he was happy to go there and create a story. Arizona Highways came and photographed him. It turned out to be a very big article for him, and I guess at that time he really was quite poor.
It's hard to imagine DeGrazia as a struggling artist, but at that time he was. His style, reflected on these walls, was still colorful, but much more somber than the work he later became known for.
He had gone to Mexico to study with Diego Rivera and Jose Orozco. When he came back to the United States, it didn't translate into anything at all.
But he still had his own style, was definitely there. When you look at his women, his faces, he had quite the style already.
It's incredibly beautiful, and the more we learned about it, you know, it's the largest surviving DeGrazia mural in the world.
I've restored some of his other murals on walls in private homes, but they've mostly been little sketches, a little locatia or something like that, not as finely detailed as this mural is.
In the category Arts and Entertainment program feature, Forming the Formless, producers Mark McLemore and Sandra Westall.
So I moved to Tubac, Arizona, to be close to my family. I moved with my son, who's 8 years old, and we live on an 8-acre farmhouse. Part of me that felt stripped bare in the city, based on what I was going through personally, but also just living in a city for so long. All of that was addressed coming here. It's a really nourishing thing to be in this environment. That said, it's lonely. It's been very lonely. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean the way in which you really confront yourself. My name is Genevieve Anderson. I'm an artist, director, and a filmmaker.
In the category Societal Concerns program feature, Oliver's Journey, producer Gisela Tellis.
I feel like a lot of trans kids, especially the younger trans kids, it's like they always knew, like trans boys who always wanted their hair cut and wanted to wear, you know, baggy shorts and t-shirts. They're like, I was never a girl. But like, it's weird because I felt like a long time growing up, like I didn't feel anything weird about it.
Right before high school started, he came to us in the summer and he told us that he wanted to be called by a different name. And we were confused, like why? And he said that he just wanted like a more gender neutral name. It was probably in February 2 years ago that he told us, I'm a boy. Like that was it, I'm a boy, and you know, I want my name to be Oliver. So that was it.
They loved me, they supported me. There was never a moment of like, we like you less for this, but there was a lot of like, just not understanding it. Me and my mom would like sit down and have talks about this, and it would be so frustrating to me. She was like, why can't you just be a girl that like, you know, has short hair and stuff like that? And I'm like, but because I'm not a girl with short hair. Like, that's just not what I am.
In the category Education and Schools feature, The Growing Class, producer Tony Paniagua.
We've been growing cotton since the 30s here. That's our main crop. Florence and Casa Grande and Coolidge, Casa Grande, this is a cotton growing area. That's what made people, you know, money and pays the bills.
Guy Rankin and his family are one of the many farmers in Pinal County where cotton is the top crop. This farmland produces bountiful harvests that contribute to personal livelihoods and the state's economy. But in spite of the abundant land and favorable growing conditions, local fresh fruits and vegetables are much harder to find.
Very mild.
The Rankins are working to change that. They're keeping their cotton, but diversifying.
The idea was just always in my head to see if we could grow food instead of, you know, growing the cotton and the alfalfa and stuff.
I really enjoy taking a seed or a plant and putting it in the ground and seeing it grow.
You can see all of these stories in their entirety online at azpm.org. In the arts and entertainment category, program feature, New Downtown Murals. Producer Andrew Brown.
I wanted to do this project because a friend of mine moved to Richmond, Virginia, and he randomly sent me all these pictures of these murals on these walls, and he said, wouldn't this be great for Tucson? And so I started looking into it. When I saw the grant opportunity through the Tohono O'odham, I said, wow, what a great opportunity. I wrote up the grant, and I guess they thought it was a good idea.
This is really big, but I like it. It really makes a great impression. You know, Tucson is many things, but shy is not one of them.
There were a lot of people that said, oh, you know, the city has tried murals before and they didn't really work. And I tried to keep those kind of noises quiet because I knew that, you know, with the right partners that we could definitely execute a pretty successful program.
A friend of mine told me about it. She saw the call to artists on the news.
It is estimated that 22 American veterans take their own lives each day. Many military veterans are homeless and living on our streets. In November of 2016, we finished work on the story of Camp Bravo, a once vacant lot near downtown Tucson. It is now a place where homeless vets are sheltered, nourished, and protected. Here is an excerpt.
I was 101st Airborne. I actually went in as a voice radio operator, but when they found out that I had some pretty extensive medical background, they made me an expert field medic. I jumped out of a perfectly good aircraft with a medical bag and tried to attend to folks that needed help. This is for your immune system. It has magnesium and C coming up. My name is Martin Marsalek. Everybody here calls me Doc. I am the base commander and chief medical officer, so I kind of keep things rolling along here. This is vitamin C, keep you from catching a cold. Our mission is to go out and find as many homeless veterans that we can possibly locate, bring them in, try to transition them from homelessness to housing, get them medical care, things that they've been doing without for so many years. I'll have to get the make and model of this thing, give the VA a call, have them get you another mirror.
We have something here that I've never found anywhere else. We have a VA navigator, somebody who knows the system, knows who to talk to, knows who to call if you don't get what you need, and he does it for us, and that's Doc. He's just the best there is.
I'll call a couple of the mobility places here and see if we can get some spare parts for that one.
At least I can get around.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, scrambled eggs and bacon, they should be happy.
Camp Bravo, officially known as Bravo Base, is one of several in Arizona, including Camp Alpha in Phoenix, Charlie in Nogales, and Delta south of Prescott. The portable toilets are donated and maintained by Diggins Environmental Services. The land, water, and electricity by HMS Fasteners. Both are local companies sympathetic to their cause. Food, clothing, and other supplies are donated by the public.
We've got a lot of really good people out there that are helping us out and keeping us going here.
There are around 20 residents on base, mostly vets and a few civilians.
I try to keep it around 16, but we kind of had a little influx of extra homeless veterans.
Some move on, and others take their place.
You can't turn them away. I can't turn them away.
I'm a Native American, and every Native American needs to do his wartime. So that's what I did. I joined the service.
Manny Jimenez is 66 years old and has been homeless for more than a year.
Somebody needs to take a picture of that, yeah.
He's been here at Bravo for several months.
4 years on the USS Pawcatuck, an attack oiler. That's a tanker with pom-pom guns. Great against jets. 3 more years Merchant Marines. Yes, I'm an old merchant seaman, drying up in Arizona.
3 times a week, Manny travels to the VA on South 6th Avenue for treatment.
My liver and kidneys are not doing what they're supposed to do, So they hook up the dialysis to it and clean out my blood and return it to me. And that's about it. This side got infected, so I had to move it that side. It's a lube job.
That there is still a fair amount of drug abuse in the park, you know, heroin, methamphetamine. That doesn't come over here.
To live here, there are 8 rules they must follow, including no drugs, no alcohol, and no smoking in tents.
The third rule is residents need to help around the base on a daily basis. There's just tons of stuff buried.
One way they are helping is by maintaining nearby property. Here they remove trash and debris from a trackside ravine.
Well, I haven't found any needles or anything yet, so that's a good thing. They work to stay here. They all have various job tasks assigned to them.
Through donations from the public, they have enough supplies to share with folks outside the camp, and they do every day.
Little snack food in there. There's some peanut butter, some ravioli, good stuff like that.
We love that stuff. Thank you.
Hey, you're very welcome. You guys take care out there. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Anybody that needs food can come here and get it. There you go. Right now we're preparing roughly 200 food boxes a week. It's hot, be careful.
Chicken.
Yep, oh yeah. Yeah, thank you for bringing him over.
What began with just a few tents more than a year ago has grown both in size and organization. Camp Bravo has become a refuge for many, but memories of life without shelter or protection are close.
For me, it was daily uncertainty, not knowing where you're going to get your next meal, not knowing where you're going to spend the night the next night, where it's going to be safe, not knowing if somebody's going to come up and club you in the head while you're sleeping and steal what little bit of belongings you have.
I was picked up by 2 really big people, put in an alley, and they tried to cut my throat. And the closest they got was my chin. I kept putting my chin down so I couldn't get my throat. Somebody from one of the apartment houses called the cops because they saw what was happening. And the cops showed up just in time. I thought that was the end of me.
In the category Special Event Coverage, Live or Edited, Community Interactive, Stories from the Border. Producers John Booth, Michael Chihak, and Nancy Montoya.
Today, for journalists, the border region is overall more stable, but reporting along the border and deeper into Mexico remains dangerous, depending on the type of coverage.
My colleague Janine Relly and I have been looking at this issue of violence against journalists on both sides of the border since 2011. Okay, so here we are. We're about to cross, guys.
Celeste Gonzalez de Bustamante is a co-author of Silencing Mexico, a study of influences on journalists in the northern states. The study focuses on the 5 Mexican states along the U.S.-Mexico border. She says Mexico is now one of the top 3 deadliest countries for journalists. 120 have been killed in the last 15 years.
In the category Technology, Program Feature, OSIRIS-REx, Countdown to Launch. Producers Tom Klesby and Sarah Hammond.
We've done a good job of communicating to the people building the spacecraft that it's really important to keep these surfaces clean. So even when we're transporting to Florida, we're in a clean environment because we have a completely sealed shipping container and we keep it under a purge. So we have clean gas flowing across the spacecraft the entire time that we're in the air. So we are not going to be outside of a clean environment even during transport down to Kennedy Space Center.
5, 4, 3, we have ignition, 2, 1, 0.
The spacecraft will launch atop an Atlas V rocket supplied by United Launch Alliance using Russian-made RD-180 engines. These engines have been a reliable workhorse on NASA missions for 16 years.
In the category Human Interest, Program Feature, Dick Tuck. Producer Andrew Brown.
In 1950, while working on the U.S. Senate race of Helen Gahagan Douglas, he would meet his nemesis, Richard Nixon.
Nixon smeared the hell out of her. Pink was for the communists. She was pink all the way down to her underwear, he would say to people.
In response, Dick volunteered to help organize a Nixon rally without revealing his true plans to sabotage it.
Nobody was on campus, and I also picked a time that was no good, and I picked the largest auditorium, and about 200 people showed up.
There he was, a huge auditorium, very low attendance, and a bunch of media.
When the speech was over, Nixon stopped and got me and said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Dick Tuck." And he said, "Tuck, you've made your last advance." Well, anyway, it turned out it wasn't my last advance.
In the category Public Current Community Affairs feature segment, Winter Shelter, producer Mitchell Riley.
As night falls, men begin to find their way to the entrance. Roll call begins at 8 p.m.
Alvaro Leon. Okay, buddy, go ahead in.
It's none of my business. I don't know why some of these people are on the streets. We try not to delve into that.
Haven't seen you in a while. Been all right?
The range could be anything. Some of these guys have been homeless for years.
Chris Arias.
There's guys I meet that are totally in fear. Could be their first week on the street.
Kenneth Randolph.
And they just have no clue where to go, what to do. I've seen guys check in tears.
These are all new guys?
They're all in need.
Okay.
Some kind of need or another.
Johnny Angel. Johnny.
As they enter, each man finds a cot. The hot meal is ready. Volunteers and staff are there to serve.
The life of Michelle Curlew, an active and vibrant mom, was turned upside down by pancreatic cancer. It usually strikes people over 70. She was diagnosed at age 41. What followed was a physical and emotional roller coaster with a whirlwind of treatments, surgery, chemo, and radiation. This is an excerpt from the half-hour documentary, Michelle's Story.
So I went to the ER, and I am internally bleeding from an ulcer up in my duodenum. It's really like out of the blue. The terminal part of this disease, I didn't think that I would take a long time to die, which is weird, and I really don't. But at the same token, I thought I would have okay, well, there's chemo's not working, and so hospice, and you would have time to, put all your affairs in order, or at least even the time for your body to naturally break down and pass away. And if they can't control the bleeding, or if my body doesn't stop it, it won't be dying slowly. but it won't be on, I guess, my terms.
At the end of the day, cancer, what it is a growth of cells. In all our bodies, we have cells that serve vital functions to our body. What cancer is there's unregulated growth. Those cells just don't want to die. What ultimately happens as these cells grow, they connect with one another, they form tumors, they form masses, and it's really these masses growing into other vital functions of your body that ultimately leads to death. So, in pancreatic cancer is very strategically placed. Where it's located, it's located around vital blood vessels. It's located next to the liver, located next to the intestines. And so as that tumor grows, inevitably what it could do is invade into blood vessels, spread to the liver, cause liver failure, and cause death that way. So when those things happen, and they happen often quickly, it really, you're faced with a challenge that's sometimes too great to overcome.
Though sent home a few days later, Michelle is back within a week for more surgery. Again, her life is in imminent danger. Today's operation will include, among other things, the Whipple procedure, the most common surgery for pancreatic cancer patients.
Dr. Gee he's very assured. Like he,
we need a few more minutes.
Boney came back yesterday and he's like, if we're gonna do it, let's just do it now. And it's funny because that's how Michael and I got married. We wanted to, let's get married. So it kind of made sense, and at the same token, I was a little frightened by the push. Like Wednesday seemed like a decent day to have surgery, but Saturday sounds like a good day too. And so I think I'm okay. And the faster the better. You know, the tumor markers are down and I'm bleeding, so they'll find it and they can get it all. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Okay, hold on. Are you playing Xbox?
No, I'm watching Fire.
Okay. I was thinking about you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Are you ready for your surgery?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I love you, Mommy.
I love you too. And I'll be thinking about you the whole time, okay?
Okay.
So,
Want to talk to Maddie?
yeah, I would love to talk to Maddie.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. Did Mac just wake you up?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He called to say hello and wish me luck. So, and then he asked if I wanted to talk to you. I love you. And I can't wait to see you later on today, okay?
Okay.
2 weeks, honey. 2 weeks.
You can see Michelle's story and all of these stories in their entirety online at azpm.org. While it is an honor to be recognized by our industry peers, we produce this content and tell these stories to enrich the lives of our audience and connect with you, our community. So thank you for joining us here on this special edition of Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.